Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. So I was just literally watching a tiny bit of Unis on the Rock a Lot last night, and he brought up something which is something that I've been thinking myself for a little while now, and sort of thought I would go over it. This is going to be more like a podcast. I'm not going to be putting pictures and proof and evidence or not. We've all seen it happen. We don't need to rehash it all out. We don't need to put names into it. We all know who and what and where's, etc. So let's get into it. Let's see what we come up with. So, as I said, this is going to be more of a podcast. There's not going to be any sort of anything to watch. It's going to be more of a listening thing. But so Uni was bringing up basically saying about, who's to be forgiven and who's not to be forgiven. And it's something that I've said it on my platform before. And who's to be spoken about. Do you know, like, it seems that everyone's okay to criticize and downgrade and belittle people like me, Katie Joy, but when it comes to themselves or other creators, it doesn't seem like it's that much of a problem, which kind of fascinates me to the point of saying, well, what is it about other creators that is allowed to come up and allowed to do certain things and other creators isn't? Do you know what I mean? Just the fact of talking about people, like I spoke about someone and those feelings that I had were real feelings. They were they were my thoughts, my opinions, my feelings, but it all went so badly. That was mainly on me, to be fair. I did put it across badly, but the feelings were still valid feelings. But for somebody else to say way, way worse about Katie, the person's okay going on their platform. I don't know. I just think it's so bizarre that things like this happen. Like, I'm never gonna be okay with some of the things that I've said, even some of the things that I've said when I was quote unquote going after Katie. I had no right to bring Katie's son into it. People are still doing that now. What did one creator say? Happy birthday, little crusty balls. Why? But then that seems to be okay. That seems to be, you're allowed to say that, or put in someone's RAPE up as a stream, monetizing it. That's okay. Calling her husband's boss a million times, calling her neighbors, all these other things. And then obviously we go to the stuff that's now where, all the stuff that's going on now is just absolutely insane. And I genuinely thought, until I got corrected not so long ago, I thought that the people that were in this case that was quote unquote die hard for Katie, I honestly thought they were like die hard fans for Katie. But no, it makes more sense when I got told that no, they're basically haters trying to make it look like Katie is making these people say and do these things. Which then made me sit and think, well, okay, firstly, surely anybody, whether you like Katie or not, can see that's not what Katie does. That's not her style of things to do. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I was probably one of the hardcore that went after Katie way back when, and she never did anything like that. Now, I said some really, really horrific things about her child, her husband, and I never had that. So then that makes me go, well, okay, so if it's a Katie hater and she wants to go to this degree, kind of fascinates me. And just with the screenshots now, I'm slightly confused, if I'm honest. Like, I don't understand how only me some of them were seen by people. Now, some of these people are on Twitter 24/7, but maybe 25% of them were actually seen. Now, to me, it wouldn't matter whether you was a Katie supporter, a Leslie supporter, a Steve supporter, whoever you were a supporter of. If you saw half of these things being said, it would be a big deal, you know. It wouldn't matter. You would say something, you would be like, nah, that's not okay, that's disgusting to say something like that. But why it was only so many of them actually seen, that bothers me a little bit, to be like, well, where did they come from? Why have nobody seen them? Why is there no replies? Where's the where are they? Where is it? I don't know. I think it's kind of strange that nobody else have seen them. I have asked around because I'm not on Twitter all the time. Twitter's a damn cesspool. But I do get things sent to me, and nothing of this has been sent to me. I don't know. I just think it's strange. I think there's lies, there's manipulation, and it's insane to me. Like, I don't know. I'm not sure how you can get to the truth on that. I think that both Salts and Brown need to put their heads together and try and figure out who was behind all these sock accounts, so that they can then subpoena Twitter to give them every tweet that was ever made. Maybe that would help, and where the tweets are from, because, you know, I think that's super important to find out all of those details. Get her into serious trouble. I'm not sure if any of you are aware, but in the UK, cyberbullying laws are so bad. It's just insane to me. And then you've got like other bigger creators, you know, things that they do. They'll sit on IG and tell people, you know, don't watch certain creators, or one watch and record it. And isn't that just as bad as what Katie done? You all say that Katie tried to mass flag channels. Isn't that just the same? By getting your subscribers as a bigger platform to go to a little platform and down thumb them and ask get people not to watch. Isn't that the same thing? Isn't that just what you've been criticizing Katie for doing? Some of these people really have become what they quote as Katie is, the monster that Katie is. They are now the monster. Am I saying all the things that Katie have done is right? Absolutely not. She knows that. All the things I have done is right? No, absolutely not. But who are these people to say that what they're doing is right? You know, like, I know one of them, she's the one who spread Katie's information around. You know, she's having to go to counselling because of her obsession with Katie. Like, who really wants to sit there that long and watch every single thing Katie does just to criticize it? It seems insane to me. For me personally, I just think it's insane that some of these, you know, I suppose I get the littler channels wanting to come up off Katie. I get that. I do. I understand that. I remember one, you know, I shared their link on my channel. I know Little Red shared their link, you know, and now that they've got, quote unquote, a little tiny bit of a following more than others, they are just so obsessed. It's crazy how obsessed that they are with all the things that Katie does. I don't get it. I couldn't sit there and just watch stuff over and over and over just to try and grasp something that, you know, Katie might say, just so that you can do a stream and get super chats and get members. I don't know. I don't know. And they try to betray themselves as such, like, oh no, I'm not like the others. I'm not like that. I'm better than that. No, you're not. You're just the same. look at your crime videos and not getting views, you know what gets the views just the same as these other ones. And then you've got like the other degree then of where the bigger channels, you know, are going at the littler channels to get them off, you know, for somebody to sit there and say, nobody should watch her. Nobody should. Everyone should go and downvote it. Nobody should watch her. Don't give her the views. You are then no better than what happened when you got mass flagged. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm never going to understand that it's okay for some people to say the most horrid things. I remember watching a live once, and there was the channel owner, and then there was a couple of other people, and they were talking about Katie's son. And one of the guests on there, I was like, no, she's going to say something now, surely. Like, she's going to say something. She's going to say something. And they were on about, like, having, I believe they were talking about nurses going in and helping Katie with her son. And I was sat there and I was waiting, and I was like, no, she's for sure going to say something. She's for sure going to say something. And she didn't. It was like, oh, well, I don't, or I didn't, or I wouldn't. But, it's whatever she wants to do. And I was like, if Katie had a panel and said that about the other person, there would be hell to pay. It would be, I don't know, guys. I just think it's pretty bizarre that some can be forgiven and be like, no, because they don't mean that. And then you've got others that are like, holy shit, they are the dregs of society. They shouldn't be on the platform. We need to get them off their platform. How is that any different? I remember when, like, Katie with the mass flagging thing, and it's happened a few times. And I remember thinking, holy crap, like, do you really want somebody off a platform that badly? And then hearing somebody else say it, and I'm like, so why isn't anybody, like, saying anything there? Why is that okay? Do you know what? I don't get it. I will never understand it. That they don't, this, why, I don't know. Somebody with like 1,000 subs and a few in a chat, why would somebody care about them if they've got 30, 40, 100,000 subs? Why? Why would they care? It's just the same with Katie when Katie does it, and I'm like sat there like, why do you care? What somebody is saying that's got 1,000 subs, why do you care? All you're doing is giving them notoriety, because that's all you're doing. And it's the same when other people do it. The bigger channels do it with myself, with other littler channels, unless they're doing what they want and what they see as fit and should be criticizing Katie. It's, yeah, downvote them, don't go and watch them, don't give them views, they need to just get off the platform. And isn't that no better? Okay, she didn't say go and mass flag, but it's no different. It's the same principle as saying don't watch her, don't give her the views, or one person watch her and record it if people want to see it. That's just the same thing. I don't know. I just think this whole thing is a heap of bullying, and at what point does it stop, At what point does it stop? Everyone has a right to say what they want to say, and sometimes it's not going to come across or come over the way it should, but they are somebody's feelings, they are somebody's thoughts. Everyone has a right to say their thoughts and feelings. Do you know what I mean? How can you say somebody's feelings are wrong? They are their feelings. No feelings are wrong. Whether they're, not popular, but they're still not wrong. They're somebody's feelings. And to cut that down just seems so wrong. Now, at what point do opinions become something more than opinions? Now, I'm no doctor, I'm no psychiatrist, I'm nothing, to be fair. I barely freaking speak English. But for me personally, I would say opinions is something happening and having an opinion on it and telling your truth, right? Then it comes to bullying. Now, if somebody has, like, let's go back to me when I first opened my channel. What I did on my channel day in, day out was bullying. There was no other content. My content was Katie Joy. My content was dragging her, bullying her, abusing her to every degree that I could possibly think of, or anyone else could possibly think of. That isn't content. That isn't just having an opinion. And that isn't a valid opinion. That just becomes then that you're nothing but a big fat bully. Okay? Where some of these people, there's one, I can't remember her name. She got a really nice voice. She got about 50 odd thousand subscribers. She does all the court proceedings and stuff. Now, she's blatant. She doesn't like Katie, but she does keep that sort of curbed and just reads and says facts. I wish I could remember her bloody name. It's completely gone. But there are people that can do that. But then there's other people who want to, day in, day out, sit on a platform and just criticize Katie because they know that that's going to bring in super chats. That's going to bring in members. That then becomes bullying. That's no longer even your opinion. I bet if you spoke offline, that would no longer be your opinion. That is just something that you're doing to gain from using Katie's name and knowing and jumping on that hate train for all intents and purposes. That's, if you sat there and said, listen, Katie pisses me off because of A, B, C, and D, right? Like, that's what it does. That's why it pisses me off. And you just do a video. That's fine. You then the next day just regurgitate what you've said the night before and then just play some more of her videos and then regurgitate more shit. That's them bullying, in my opinion. People can disagree if they like. That's absolutely fine. But that, for me, there's a fine line between being opinionated, having a opinion on a person, but when it becomes that opinion then is against a child, a sick child at that, the doxing and all of that, that's where the level then, and that's where your word is worth shit. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know. That's just my opinion. So then, sort of back to what's going on now. Are these people any better than what they're allegedly saying that Katie is? Like, I can't honestly sit there and say her criticizing the Duggars is a bad thing. I can't. They're the Duggars. They're on the show. It's a TV show. It's no bit better than Sherelle or anyone else doing Teen Mom or Housewives or Love After Lockup or anything like that. It's a TV show. There's going to be channels out there that only talk about TV shows. I don't think you can say that, oh, well, she does videos after videos about them. Again, the same with Tati and her husband. They're in, they're public figures. There's going to be people that are going to criticize them. Did she go too far? I don't know. I haven't even watched the videos. Like, I don't care about the whole Tati lawsuit. I think it's pathetic if you ask me, but whatever. But then these people, these little creators sitting there criticizing every single thing to the point of, like, when her kid has a meltdown, that's a huge deal, or when her husband's having a piss off day, like, and he's grouchy, or he's like being a bit shady or whatever. Like, your house is really that freaking clean that your husband doesn't have a meltdown sometimes, or your kids don't have a tantrum? That that I find bizarre that people can sit there and be okay with that because it's Katie's husband or because it's Katie's child or because it's Katie. Like, are we really that sick that we are okay with it? If somebody, like, for example, if somebody sat there and, like, who is everyone liking at the moment? Okay, let's say Emily Baker, right? Everyone seems to love Emily Baker. So if somebody sat there on, like, I don't know, 5 different little channels and said, Emily Baker's kid came in and she was like streaming and she was like, enough, please leave a minute, I'm streaming, I'm live, I'll deal with you after, enough. Nobody would say a damn thing. They'd be like, oh my God, kids, like, you can't live with them, can't live without them. It would be okay. But because it's Katie, everyone does a stream about it. How would you feel like if your kid had a meltdown, say in a supermarket, okay? Your kid is a toddler, he or she has a major meltdown, right? In a shop. People are seeing this. Then as soon as they get home, they go to Facebook and they're like, oh my God, what a disgusting mother. Like, oh my God, this kid had such a meltdown. And the mother just stood there and she was trying to pick it up, but the kid didn't want to be picked up. Do you know what I'm saying? You can't, how is it okay to criticize someone's kid because it's Katie? How would you feel if that was yours? Like, my nephews and nieces have had major meltdowns, major meltdowns. All kids have strops, all kids have paddies, all kids have tantrums. But just because Katie happened to be live, that gives you the right to criticize her as a parent or criticize the child, saying nasty things about the child. How would you feel if your kid did that and everyone went online after they saw you in the supermarket and criticized your parenting, criticized your child for having a tantrum, criticized everything? You know, and I get, like, you all dislike Katie Joy. I get it. I get it. Some of the things she does, I don't like either. But on the same token is, who am I to sit here and judge? Like, everyone's got skeletons in their closets. Even people who you think are these perfect Christians, they all got skeletons in their closets. They all do things that would absolutely be horrified if you knew. And everyone has. And if anyone says that they haven't, is a damn liar. Everyone has those skeletons that they wouldn't want out there. It just so happened that all of you guys have gone and looked for all of Katie's. You've all gone and searched for all of Katie's skeletons. So, you want to criticize. You're waiting for that to do that criticism. And, like, some of the criticizing is fine. I'm perfectly okay with it. Like, some of it is actually genuinely, you're criticizing her. I don't understand why you need to criticize her child, her parenting, her husband. I don't get it. But that's just me. Maybe I'm the oddball. Maybe I just think it's weird. But I don't know, guys. I just think that it just seems so hypocritical that if it was anybody else, anybody else's child that they were talking about, oh my God, she has nurses. Like, if she got offline, she could take care of a kid herself. Who are you to judge? If your child was as sick as Katie's, you don't know what you would do. And I just don't understand that people can sit there and think that's okay. Maybe, like I said, maybe I'm the weird one. Maybe I just don't know. I guess what I'm trying to say, amongst other things, is criticize the actions, not the person. Criticizing someone's child is not criticizing her actions. Saying things, really mean things like, well, at least I parented a child. it's uncalled for. Do you know what I mean? It's beyond nasty and mean. And if Katie said that about anybody, hell would be like big time. Just sort of think about it as in, if anyone else says anything or does anything, if somebody else said what Katie said, what would you think? Or if somebody else said something that you're a bit like, oh, I'm not sure about that. Think about it. If Katie said it, how would you think? It just feels so gross that it's okay as long as it's one, against Katie, or two, derogatory towards Katie. Don't that if somebody did this to you, say you have a teenager, right? A teenage child, they're, between that sort of 16 and 18 where they're not quite an adult, but they're adult-like. Do you know what I mean? That sort of annoying age that they think they know every bloody damn thing. And they're online and a bunch of people disagree with the way that they acted or with the way that they said. And your daughter comes to you and says, Mum, look at this. And she had all these people going at her, grown-ass adult women, some in their 40s, 50s, 60s even. How would you feel? My daughter's 27. If she had that, I would feel absolutely dreadful. I just think we really do need to take a bit of a look at ourselves and how our behaviour is pretty disgusting. I'm not just like putting that out for you guys. I'm including myself in that. It's pretty gross. It really is pretty gross. So just like the things that are going on right now, if all of them things are true with what was said to that person, burn you up and saying disgusting things about their baby that's passed away, if all of that is true, I kind of hope they are UK, just because our laws are so much stronger than yours in the US. They, that is a fray for a start, as that, just a fray alone, you'll get 6 to 18 months in jail for. So I kind of do hope that this person, if all this turns out to be true, I hope this person is UK, because they will get, from my opinion, I reckon they'd be looking at between a 6 and 24 month stretch for all the things that they have done and said and found out where this person lives, and they're looking at some serious time, plus a criminal record. There'll be fines and community service. There'll be a lot. They could get a suspended prison sentence. Unlikely, with all the things that were said. It was pretty horrific. So I kind of do hope that they are UK, just because our laws are so much more stronger than yours, guys. I hope that Saltsy and Brown both sort of push this to find out, because even if you've got a VPN or VPN, whatever they're freaking called, they can still find you through that. So you might think that you're safe. You're really not. Really, really not. It really isn't okay. And I'm guessing that there's another thing on top that's actually sort of bugging the shit out of me is like the whole lawyers on Twitter stuff. Like, I get it, get your information from wherever, but what absolutely boggles my mind, and like everyone wants to say that Salts is a really good lawyer, and he might well be. Who the frick do I know? I don't know. I don't really care, to be perfectly honest. But don't you think it's all strange that he is happily getting his information off Twitter handles like Katie is a whore or Katie Joyless? And wouldn't that tell you something? To me, that would say like, yeah, you're a troll. I'm good. I'm good. I don't need to be down there. But yet he's sitting there like actually entertaining these people. And that's why we're having the issues now with this lawsuit, is having all this Twitter shit being brought in because of him. It's not because of anything else, it's because he sat there and entertained a bunch of trolls, and now he can't figure out which ones are liars and which ones are real. And, what do you expect? You go into a cesspool, you're going to get bit by a bunch of sharks, just saying. But that's just my opinion. But I'm going to get off. I just sort of wanted to put it out there. Like I said, this was going to be more of a podcast than anything else. We all know who've said and done things. We all know, that now it seems to be, well, they can be forgiven and move on. But so it's okay for them to be forgiven for putting out a RAPE report and questioning it and calling somebody little crusty balls, a child little crusty balls. But it's not okay to forgive Katie for reading a comment and running with it about a little girl. At which point do we sit back and think, God, if my life was out there like that and people criticized my kids for having meltdowns, or even if you haven't got little ones and you've got teenagers, teenagers have meltdowns just the same. At what point would you be like, oh my God, that would be horrific? Just have a little think about it, This bullying is way out of control. It's too much. At some point, people are going to be pushed over the edge, and I don't like it. I just think it's really sick and twisted. It doesn't seem okay. I wish I had words. I do. I wish I had words to put across to show how disgusting some of these things are. You know what I'm saying? Like, to tell your large audience not to watch a little tiny channel, or to go and thumbs down, go and report it. Why ain't nobody upset about that? Oh wait, no, I know why. Because it's not Katie. If Katie sat and said that about anybody, you would all have a fucking epi fit about it. But because somebody else said it, it's okay. It's the same as if Katie said something about somebody else's kid and just said, oh, happy birthday, such and such, and used a derogatory term. Everyone would be talking about it for a damn month, if not 2, if not a year. But other people are okay to say it. I know, maybe we just need to think and have a little look in the mirror and just realise that we're all not that freaking perfect. We really ain't. And for people in glass houses really shouldn't be throwing stones. Anyway, I'm going to get off. Thanks for listening. I wouldn't say watching, but it's really not watching. It's just listening to me rambling on. And I will catch you all soon. Bye, guys. So just want to put this at the end. I know I did mention it during the video, but a lot more evidence have come out involving the lies that were put in the email and some of the messages between people. Obviously, I'm sure other people will go more in depth. I'm clearly not, but I think it just basically says what we've all been thinking, that, all of these lies are coming up. But I kind of gonna stick with my first thing, is I'm gonna blame Saltsy, the fact that you want to interact with trolls that are clearly trolls on Twitter, and clearly that their hate of Katie is quite strong by their names. Katie is a see you next Tuesday, Katie Joyless. What did you anticipate was going to come from that? You're not a dumb bloke. I don't understand. So I guess it's going to be more waiting and seeing what comes from this new declaration. I'm already bored of this, and we're only in the freaking weather. Washington can take it. Come on. Seriously. How much bloody paperwork? all I can say is I'm glad it's digital and we're saving actually a couple of trees. Just saying. Okay, I just wanted to add that on to the end. Have a great day, guys. Bye.